In this chapter, we will take a look at how to configure object-oriented in webMI. The purpose of the configuration is to build several identical models from one structure. As a preparation, we have installed a PLC project on the CPU. As you can see, valve_co is my valve control program. And as you can see, we made a function block in there to control valves. And we made 3 separate instances of that function block. We also installed the webMI module on the CPU. So next up, the advice part. So then we go to our advice builder and we're going to add a server as we did in our previous chapters. So we add the IP address of the CPU. I'm going to click enter. Then right click on our server and acquire the data points again. Now as you can see, we now have our structures from our 3 instances of our valve. Now we also created in our library and in project and then object displays, we created a display basically for one valve. So as you can see, we have 2 switch buttons to turn on and off the valve, to open and close it. We have an in and out value to see how far the valve is, and this is the actual valve. Now if we click on one of these buttons and we go to the parameters, we can see that we entered the base. So we can do this by clicking on this R, selecting base, and then selecting the last bit of that variable. So if we go back to Solution Center and see that variable, so for example from 1, so every instance has an open, close, and a position percentage variable. This is what we're going to use right here. So in this one it's base/open, this one it's base/close, and this one is base%. Now for this part we use a quick dynamic. As you can see, if we double click on it, we do the same here. So we say base and then the position percentage and then some coloring. If we now do OK, we're going to right click. We're going to go to our displays and then main display. Now all we have to do is drag this part in 3 times, like so. Make it fit. And now in the base, we have to select the right variables. So for the first one, we're going to select ventil 1, like this. For the second one, we're going to select the second instance. And as you may have guessed, for the third one, the last instance. Okay. Now that that is done, we're saving this display and we'll distribute it. If anything is unsaved, press yes and it will be distributed to the server. And here we go. As you can see, we now have our 3 objects here. If I click on open, as you can see, the value of valve 1 is on. I can do the same for the other ones and they'll move separately. As you can see, they have 3 of the same objects, but they have their own instance. And you can double check that here in your variable view here. So 1 is currently closed, 2 is currently open. Well, and that's in a very short video on how to work in webMI and use object-oriented objects to make multiple of the same object with their own instances. Hopefully this video helps and have a nice day.